Check out what some listener gave me. Aren't these awesome? Leather-bound books. Look how much more important I am now. My office smells of rich mahogany. Messages and papers of the presidents from 1889 to 1897. Fellow citizens, there is... You can't laugh already. We're not even done the first sentence yet. There is no... No, I won't read the whole thing, but thank you to this listener who sent these over. This is awesome. So cool. Let me start first with this. We have free books, not those books. Those are mine. But we have a different book for you. It's a new book. It's called The Unveiled Wife. It's by Jennifer Smith, and she actually has this week's challenge underneath the Liberty Tree, which is a free app in the App Store. You can download it by clicking this side of the screen and accept the challenge. And we're going to take 3 comments to this challenge and send you a free book. Check that out. Download Liberty Tree in the App Store for free. All right, we do 3 stories, something important, something smart, and something that's going to make you feel good. We'll start with important, the 10th commandment. What is the 10th commandment? A couple hints. It's the only one that deals with thought, and it's the one commandment that if you break it, it will lead to breaking the other commandments as well, right? Thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not covet. If you covet someone's wife, it leads to adultery. If you covet their car, it leads to theft, etc., etc. I share this because Joe Biden got up the other day and gave a speech at the tail end of Black History Month. And he said to the crowd, quote, "A lot of wealthy white and black people aren't bad." Okay, thanks. As if the default is they should be. But they control 1% of the economy, and this cannot stand. It's not fair because the business experts are saying that the concentration of wealth is stunting growth. So let's do something that's worthy of emancipation. Of course, alluding to the Emancipation Proclamation, now we have to emancipate wealth from people, or people from their wealth, or whatever. It's called stealing. Can you describe that as anything other than Joe Biden getting behind his pulpit and saying, "Thou shalt covet"? Sorry, this is the only thing we could find that's sort of like a pulpit. By the way, this is what TVs used to look like, kids. Huge and thicker than big. Now, we all want to covet. It's in our sinful nature, which is why God said, don't do this thing. We resist that urge, but every once in a while, a politician comes around and says, hey, it's okay to covet. Thing is, though, people, you're not allowed to act on it, but I am. Vote for me, and I'll do the stealing for you. Whether you covet your neighbor's wife, or your neighbor's car, or their house, coveting always leads to evil action. And here's the key. Coveting leads to evil action whether you do the action or you empower someone else to do it for you. It's a commandment from God on our lives. If that's true, it's also probably a good rule of thumb for politics as well. One last thing. Joe Biden also shouldn't covet other people's wives.
And confidence. I've got a lot of thanks to give out here.
Now, one last Joe Biden thing. We'll call this the smart story. On the point that he made that, the richest control 1% of the economy or whatever, that's total nonsense. The only way that business owners can control the economy is with the government's help. The rich don't control anything. You do. This is what Ludwig von Mises wrote in 1944. And I love this last part of his sentence here when he said, consumers make poor men rich and rich men poor. Bill Gates can only decide what his company does. But you decide, I don't know why my hand was like this, but you decide to buy his product or not. You decide, you make that choice. And if you decide to buy someone else's products, you're making the choice to make the rich man poor, right? You're making Bill Gates poorer, and you're making this poor man over here richer. That's on you. You know, Forbes just came out with their list of billionaires. You know who the richest person in the world is, right? Not Bill Gates. It's Putin. Putin because he's the government. He controls the money. You know, the youngest billionaire, the founder of Snapchat, I think $1.5 billion. He's 24 years old. He was poor a few years ago. But people making their own decisions on what's best for them made this kid filthy stinking rich. And if Microsoft stopped making good products, I'm an Apple guy, but just go with it. If they stop making good products, then people will stop buying their products, and all the people at Windows who are rich will become poor. You have all the power. You have all the control. So when politicians say that the rich control part of the economy, it's nonsense. You control all of it, or at least all of the part that's not controlled by the government. Part that the government controls, you have no say at all. All right, feel good story. How grateful are you every single day that you can see, right? That you can just open up your eyes and see the world. Well, now we're going to take that a step further. And thanks to the good folks at Xfinity, is it like a Comcast, Time Warner Cable, AT&T? A branch of Comcast? Gosh, Comcast, they control it all! Thanks to them. Now we can see into a little girl's imagination, even though she herself is blind.
What would it look like to me? My Tin Man has a big toe the size of a house. The lion is small like a toy poodle and has webbed duck feet. And he is very scared of everything.
Slider Crusaders, thank you so much for watching. You can click right here for last week's video. Click right here to download the Liberty Tree. And again, you can take the challenge, and we're going to take 3 winners and give them a new copy of the book, The Unveiled Wife. And then you can click right here for our daily radio show, which I said is daily, which means we do it every day, right around my arms like this. Arm circles.
So it's changing?
What's changing? Oh, our showtime's changing next month. We'll tell you more about that next week. We're out of time.